So we have our yarn ball done, and we're just going to feed it through that grommet again. So that is our first step of our F5. Step 2 is making a slip knot. So you just want to, well, this is the way I do it. There's 2 ways, of course, so let's do the 2. So I prefer this way, when you're just wrapping it around one finger, kind of pull it off, and then you slip your loop through and pull up. Voila. You know you did it correct if you're able to pull down on your loop and it comes out without a knot. So that's your slip knot. Second way of doing this, take 2 fingers and you want to wrap around once. When you come around the second time, you're going to take that long piece of yarn and put it on the opposite side, more closer to your knuckles. Then you're going to take the front loop and put it by kind of switch sides. So take the front, switch sides with the front and the back, and you want to take up that loop, pull up, pull down, put your hook in. I'm using an H8 today. Just because, you know, we have some time, so it's no need to rush. Otherwise, I would say definitely grab a J or higher, okay? So step 3, we're going to do a chain. This is the proper way of holding your yarn, at least the way that I've learned, a very traditional way of making sure that you are protecting your fingers. And so what you want to do is kind of feed between your finger itself, so front of your pinky, behind your ring finger, in front of your middle finger, and behind the index. And then you're going to take the tab, hold it between your thumb and your middle finger, and you want to do your chain. So we have to do 4 chains here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so then we're going to do step 4, which is the slip stitch. And in order to do the slip stitch, you're going to take whatever loop you're in now, or your chain that you're in now, and you want to go back into the first one. You're going to put your hook through, grab the yarn, pull through, and pull through again. Okay? And what that's going to do is leave you with a little circle, and that is where we're going to be working from today. Okay? So our stitch we're going to be working with is the double stitch. And we are currently getting ready to do a square. And granny squares, just so you have an example, this is an example of a granny square. And so we're getting ready to do this first center of a granny square here. And in order to do that, you want to chain up 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you want to hold that long tab that, you know, you had your knot in your beginning, and so just so you can weave it in, so it's very neat. And so you chained up 3, and now you're going to do a double crochet stitch, and you're going to go right back in that center hole there, do a double. This is 1. You want to do a second one. So that serves as a cluster. So technically that first 3 chains that you did serves as really a double crochet. You do 2 more to make a cluster. Then for the corner, you want to chain 2, so 2 chains. Then you're going to do another cluster, which is 3 double crochets, so 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to chain 2 again. And another cluster, so 3 double crochet, so that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And one more corner, so you're going to chain 2 chains, and you're going to do another cluster, so 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to do 2 chains, so 1 and 2. And then you're going to do a slip stitch, okay? So that serves as the center, right? And so since we're going to be doing this 365, I thought a really great number, one of my favorite numbers, by the way, is 3. So we're going to do 3 rounds of white, and then we're going to stop, okay? So in order to do your next row, you're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to turn your work. And you're going to be working into this corner here. So you're going to do 2 more double crochets. stitches. So that's 1, that's 2, 2 chains, 1 and 2. And so the difference is we're going to be gradually increasing, and so we're going to do another cluster in that same corner. So 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're just going to skip over to that next corner. You know it's the corner because you can see that hole there, right? So you're going to do a cluster. Right, so that's 1 cluster. Do 2 chains, 1 and 2. And do another cluster. So 1, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to move on to your next corner, which is here. Do a cluster. 2, 3. And then do 2 chains, 1, 2, and do another cluster. So 1, 2, 3. So you're going to skip over to your final corner and do a cluster. So 1, 2, and then you're going to do 2 chains. So 1, 2, do another cluster. 1, 2, 3, and slip knot. So we have, let's see, let's just turn around and work so we see what we have going on. Oh, we have a little granny square going on, huh? Kind of reminds me of those rooftops. Or even if you can just imagine a little body there making snow angels. I know. So we're just gonna do 1 more row. Then I'm gonna get out of your hair because we have 364 more days to go. You're gonna just chain up 3, do a cluster. Oh, turn your work, then do a cluster, all right? So you were here, you did 3 up, turn around, did 2 granny square, 2 double stitches, and now you're gonna move on to the corner. In the corners, remember you're doing cluster, 2 chains, cluster. So let's do our cluster. 1 and 2. Do our cluster. So this reminds me of another story of going to visit my godparents in Seattle. Mama Evelyn is also a crocheter, and so in the beginning of my journey, you know, I took a trip up because, as I mentioned, I used to go all the time, and so this time I went by myself, and I went for Easter. And Mama Evelyn and I went to the store and grabbed some yarn, and she wanted me to make her a scarf and a hat. And, you know, at that point, I really had made a full scarf. You know, I've kind of like just practiced the stitches in a way where, you know, I was doing chains and doing rows and, you know, not quite to a point where I was, you know, making scarves per se. My journey was a little different as far as, you know, things that I started off the gate making. I was making hats from the beginning. And so anyway, I remember making a blanket doing the stitches for the scarf. And, you know, maybe I was just like 15 rows in because I was doing single stitch. It was lavender and brown. I know, crazy colors, but they look really great. And somewhere along the way, I dropped a stitch. And so the scarf, you know, obviously started taking a different form. And my godmother, being a crocheter, saw that. And she made me take all of it out. Oh my God. Oh. There's nothing like watching your hours of work just unravel, right? But from that day, I pay attention to my stitches. I make it a habit of making sure that once I'm like done with a row, I'm going back to the just count, make sure everything looks good, it's all set up, it's, you know, in order. Because, you know, that was one of those moments where I wanted to cry. Matter of fact, I did cry. Let's be serious here. I cried. I thought it was the most horrible. I was thinking it. I was like, why are you picking on me? Yeah. It was the dramatics, but for that reason, it really taught me a lesson. And that was to pay attention to what you're doing and understanding, you know, I didn't really have a opportunity during that time because I was still in the journey of learning, but I definitely figured out a way to just make sure moving forward that I have an opportunity to, you know, fix my mistake early on or figure out a way to add stitches in to just balance it. Or, you know, if it's some other kind of project, keep it there for character, you know. So I didn't bring my my yarn needles or my yarn threading needles out, so I'm just going to just weave this back in with my hook. Definitely takes a little longer than just having the needle there to just thread the yarn through, but it's fine because we're done. We're gonna pick back up tomorrow with a new color. And I'm really excited, guys. I really hope that you all decide you're gonna do this with me, because I think it'll be fun to see how far we get, you know, what colors we end up choosing and how, what kind of shared stories we have. So this is our beginning. Aren't we excited? So I'm just going to go through and wrap my yarn back up onto my bow and bid you all a farewell until the next time. Remember, this is our opportunity to share the power of creativity to empower the world. I look forward to you all joining on this journey of the Stitch Journey 365. Looking forward to seeing the beginnings of your alls. And yeah, it's that Ladybug signing out. Be sure to click the link in the bio to grab your FAB box today. Let's get fab!